coming up with a compilation of videos that kind of showcases my 1 year of using the Maffetone method. It's something I've been thinking about for a while, and that's what this video is. It's got some old clips, old videos that I made in 2020, and it showcases my progression with using the Maffetone method. So again, this is my third compilation video that I'm putting together, and fingers crossed that they're doing well and they continue to do well, because I kind of like putting these together. It makes me kind of think back and gets motivated with what I'm looking at. Today is going to be an awesome day. 1,000 miles. It's a long way. Yeah, that's a really long way. But I did it and I'm happy, and boy do I have some stuff to tell you. Oh my goodness. So this video that I'm putting together right now is going to be geared towards anybody that wants to increase their aerobic efficiency, okay? Anybody who's starting out running, who's maybe walking right now. So I'm gonna try an experiment. My training, my running has been not very good since Hamilton, so I'm gonna try something different. Instead of going out and running really fast and doing all these different types of drills, you know, I've noticed that my training hasn't been great. I've also noticed I've been kind of maybe overtraining. I haven't really seen any improvements. Actually, I just don't feel like running sometimes, or most of the time, and that's sad. So I've changed it up. I'm going to do things differently this time, and I'm going to adopt Phil Maffetone's, heart rate training. And so my heart rate training, as per his method, is 180 beats minus your age, and I'm 47, so it's going to be 133, and I'm going to add 5 if I've been training for 2 years, which I have. I mean, it hasn't been like the best, but I still have been training. So my heart rate's going to be 138, and that's what I'm going to continue to do and see how it works out. And I'm going to track it each week as I run, because it's just, I got one of these GPS watches, right? And that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, we're going to see what's going on and see how I improve for my marathon, which is coming up in the next, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. No, sorry, month and a bit. I think 5 weeks. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Here's an update for you. This running slow thing is crazy. It's absolutely insanity. Anyone that wants to change up their training because, you know, they've gone ahead and, you know, put in all these hours of running really, really fast, and they've burned themselves out, guess what? I can raise my hand. I was in that camp, right? I burned myself out, and it's not fun. It's terrible. So anybody who is thinking about starting to run, or is having problems with their running, or is not motivated in their running, is struggling with their weight, their mental capacity to get out and run, feeling lethargic, feeling tired, feeling grumpy, all of those things, I'm going to tell you, you don't need to go through that. You don't, okay? So I have just run 1,000 miles at a low heart rate, and this training is called MAF training, okay? MAF, maximum aerobic function. And this was created by an individual named Phil Maffetone. And you can see it on your screen there. You can go there, you can find out all about it. I'm here to tell you, this shit works. I'm just telling you. So let's kind of go back in time to when I was not a runner, to when I was fat, to when I was unhealthy. And honestly, I was not in good condition. My eyeballs felt like they were popping out of their eye sockets. My blood pressure was so high. The thing was like, I did a video, I think it was like 160, 169, 170. It was even like 180 at one point, like 180 over 110. It was crazy. However, I have come through all of that. I did become a runner. I did start running. However, the thing is I didn't really know what I was doing. I literally just started, right? I started to walk, listening to podcasts, slowly working my way up, so I could walk around the block without huffing and puffing. Like, I was totally winded. I was not in good shape. I was like a cheeseburger away from a heart attack probably. Like, it was just not good. However, that was 2013, right? 2014, things started to change. 2015, I ran my first marathon. Full marathon. Actually, I ran a 10K half and a full all in the same year. And I pretty much burned out. And then the following year, 2016, I did the same. I didn't do the same thing in terms of like all these races. I kind of narrowed it down, just wanting to do a few. But anyways, I kept running my easy runs way too fast. Like, I said, I'm gonna go out for an easy run, and I'm running, 5:34 pace kilometer. That was nowhere near a slow pace for me. I had a heart rate monitor, but I didn't really know how to use it, so I didn't bother with it. Didn't know anything about heart rate training. Duh, like really. I should have clued in. However, I was on track to run my most amazing, fast Boston qualifying race in 2016 in Hamilton, but I got sick a week before. I was dehydrated on start line, and I had the worst marathon in my life. It was, well, when I say my life, I only ran one before, but it was terrible. It wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. I burned out. It was awful, miserable. It was bad. And since then, since that awful race, I came up with every excuse why I didn't want to run anymore, or I came up with an excuse why I wasn't running. And, I'd run maybe 1 day a week, or then 2 days a week. And then I started running maybe a few more days a week. And then I wouldn't run for like months, right? You can see on the screen, scrolling through Strava, like it's just not, I wasn't committed. I didn't have a goal race, right? I was afraid to actually go ahead and do it. And so anyways, my fitness went downhill. I started to lose everything. I became miserable. My world was kind of like imploding. It was just, everything just kind of became really bad. So last year in September, the kicking moment, like that moment of, I need to do something, came when I went out for a run with my vegan friends. Like, we have this group called Team Vegan Trails, and we go out for training runs. And I went out with them to do this run around my birthday, and I took a little selfie picture, and it was great. And I looked at it, and I'm like, Dave, what are you doing? You gotta get back. You gotta do something. You can't continue to slide. Because my eating habits didn't change. Yeah, I was still vegan, but you can eat junk food vegan. That's not a problem, right? And so the weight started coming back up, and I went from my race weight of 170, 176, all the way back up to like 215. And I'm like, what am I doing? I felt like such a failure. But then MAF came into my life, and I said, I knew about MAF years ago, kind of when I was kind of Googling and researching, but I didn't really know, like, I didn't really do anything with it. Just like I didn't know anything about, or just like I knew about ultras, but I didn't have any of the shoes. Hence, I'm doing MAF and ultras right now. So I thought that it's kind of like a reboot. Forget everything that I've learned. Let's reboot, and let's go through this re-education process. So I started to dive into the literature, and I started to research and pull out all these like little tidbits that really spoke to me. And I thought, now is the time to build that aerobic engine. So that's what I've been doing since September. Okay, since September. Now, when I went out for my MAF run, my MAF test, okay, it's basically you run around a track, right? I didn't do that, right? I don't know why, but I'm like, I didn't like running around tracks. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out, because he has MAF by GPS, like on his website. So I thought, I'm gonna do that because I have it on my watch. I know what's going on. I run the same route every day. Well, I was gonna start running every day or 3 times a week or whatever. So I started and I did that first run. And it came back and I thought, okay, that can't be what just happened. My MAF, my very first run, I had to keep my heart rate 180, right? 180 minus your age gives you your heart rate, your maximum heart rate in basically zone 2. Okay, anyone that's kind of dealing with all the zones. That's my MAF heart rate, my maximum, no more. Okay, yeah, you can run lower, right? But don't go above. So that's what I did. I went out and I ran a 10 kilometer with a pace of 8:34 with 137 beats a minute. That's 1 beat less than my max. And I was like, what just happened? Like, I literally felt, it was awful. I had to walk in some parts to keep my heart rate low because I was using my watch. And I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like, this sucks. I wanna run, I don't wanna walk. But I did. I stuck with it. And day after day after day, maybe it wasn't every day, but that's what I did. So I did that for a couple of months. Well, actually I was doing it for a month because I signed up for the half marathon in Toronto. So I went out and I did the Scotiabank half marathon after a month of MAF training. Now when I went out to run, I didn't know what I was supposed to be running at. I had no idea, guys, what pace I should run at. So I'm lining up, you start running, and everything just felt so easy. Like it was good, you know? And I thought, I looked at my watch and I'm like running what was it, 5:34 or something? I don't know, 5:35. And I'm like, heck, if I could keep this up, I'll finish in a good time. And I did. I finished under 2 hours, right? That was my goal. I wanted to finish under 2 hours regardless. And I did, 2 minutes under, right? Which is awesome, 1:58, I was quite happy with that. However, I had to, so I started to kind of, run these MAF runs every single day again, right? Low heart rate training. And I noticed that my heart rate, like on those runs, started to go higher and higher and higher. I thought, what's going on? And then I realized I hadn't recovered from my half marathon because of what I put out. There was so much stress on my body that I put out that my heart wasn't in a good state at that time, right? So I saw those numbers start to go higher and higher. And I thought, oh crap, now what? So I kind of dialed it back and I had to walk and I had to do all those things and I didn't like it. And then my buddy says to me, hey, are we gonna do our 50 kilometer ultra that we said we were gonna do? It's getting close to the end of the year and this is in November. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we started, we met and we did we were running, and I'd never run 50 kilometers before. I hadn't even run 30 kilometers at this point for like years. Anyways, I was running at a 7:48 pace. It wasn't my my MAF pace. However, I just wanted to go out and complete this journey with my buddy. And it turned out pretty good. We did well. We did it in 6 hours, 30 minutes. And it was great. But again, I had to go through that recovery time, right? So, and again, I'm still doing MAF and still, it was really hard to kind of have those two runs mixed in. And then I kind of threw my hands up in the air and I said, enough is enough. I am going to not sign up for a race. I am literally just going to now focus, clear-minded focus, and just do the training. And my weight hadn't really budged a whole lot. Like it had come down a little bit, but I wasn't seeing the results what I wanted. So I did to share my my new adventure with you. And that is, I'm going to be running a 50 miler next year. And I just ran a 50 kilometer for my first ultra, I guess. And it wasn't a sanctioned race or anything like that. But I realized that I'm still not in anywhere shape that I need to be. So I am kind of rebooting my system, rebooting my body, my metabolism. And I got some aches and pains and a few other things that hopefully I'd like to get rid of, right? That's the goal. So I'm fasting. I'm gonna do a water fast for about 10 days. And yeah, we're gonna see how that works. I mean, I've done fasts before. This won't be my first one, and it certainly won't be my last, because I really do like them. The only difference this time is I've run before when doing a fast. You know, I'm just having water, nothing else. But this is the first time I'm actually going to be running at a very, very low heart rate. And I want to see the effects of what a fast does while you're running in your aerobic base. So I'm a fast. Boom. 7 days, water fast. What else did I include? I went from running like 3 or 4 days a week to running every day for 2 hours. And it was 30 full days that I ran every single day. And they were 2-hour runs, if not more, right? There was some longer runs. There was a couple of 3-hour runs in there as well. But I fasted for the first 7 days. And during that fast, day three was the slowest I had run. But after that, my pace increased. My heart rate, it was the same, right? 136, 137, 135, kind of all in that range. I'm like, okay, now it's working. I'm pretty happy. And it started to go down further and further. But here's the thing. I went from running like 5 to 6 hours a week to all of a sudden now running 12 hours a week every day. And guess what? I didn't get injured. And guess what? I'm not happy to say this, but I haven't even foam rolled, right? I've done some planks and I've done some push-ups, but not like every day or anything like that. But I haven't even foam rolled, for crying out loud, right? It's nuts. My muscles feel great. I actually had a massage, and my masseuse said, "Dave, you're good. Like your muscle, you're not stressed out in any particular place. Your fascia is moving around. You're well hydrated." I was like, "Cool. This is awesome," right? So that was going on. That was like 2 months into my MAF. 2 months, and I'm like, "Okay, this is cool." So now I have to do another MAF test, and I'm like, "Okay, what's happening here?" Because my pace decreased. And I'm like, hold on, gotta go get my computer to tell you what my pace was, because I wasn't organized, and here I am talking to you all. So let me go down, let me find it here. So when I did my MAF test, my second month. So the first one was 535, okay? Then it went down to a 733 on my second month. Pretty cool, eh? I go into December, guys. I ran a 500 kilometer month. I've never done that. That is incredible. I felt epic. And 1 week, I think I ran close to 16 hours. All MAF training. Now a couple of things did kind of come into my world is I did a couple of trail runs, right? And those are harder to keep at MAF, but I did, like pretty darn close. If I did, but there was some that just maybe a little bit above. But here's the thing. The following week, you kind of go into the next week, and then, the week goes by, and I kept running. My pace got faster and faster. And then on so in my third month of doing MAF, I'm now down to 7:23, right? On my fourth month, I went down to 6:47. Right? Isn't that crazy? So I've gotten faster. Now oops, maybe I shouldn't do that. Here's the thing. I've been doing all these runs at MAF. I've been getting faster and faster. My heart rate's been staying the same. I've been cataloging and recording all this data. It's in the sheet that you're looking at right now. All that data exists. Yeah, there's some days where, it's not so good and it's up. Here's the thing. You have to keep your stress low in your life. You have to get enough sleep. When I started, I wasn't getting a full 7 hours, but now I'm upwards to like 8.5, and I'm aiming for 9 hours sleep every night, which is amazing. So I feel better, right? I haven't been injured, right? I take 1 day off a week now, so I'm not running every day. So I run 6 days a week, 2-hour runs, and again, some of them are longer because I'm doing 30 kilometers. And all of this in 4 months. So wait, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, so in 4 months. In 4 months, guys, I have gotten, just so you know, because I just went out for a run, and you're seeing it on your screen, right? I am now down in the 6s, and my pace is 2 minutes. Actually, it's more than 2 minutes faster now. I think I'm down to like 6:19, 6:15, 6:19 on my MAF runs. That's lower. That's 2 hours and 30 seconds, 2 hours and 15 seconds faster than I was when I started. I haven't done any speed work. Okay, maybe I did. Okay, maybe I ran a little bit faster. But my mind is blown, right? I am stronger. My aerobic function is so much stronger than it's ever been. I'm actually feeling very optimistic about my future after 1,000 miles. And guess what? I'm going to get faster. So how long am I going to do this for? Well, I'm going to do it until it stops, right? Until I stop seeing improvements, until I plateau. And then I'll get into the whole 80-20, right? 80-20, 80% of your training is done at MAF, like easy, right? And then 20% is hard. Like you're doing intervals, you're doing hill repeats, right? You're doing a lot of track work, right? For that 20%, right? But you go hard. But 80% is going to be nice and low heart rate. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, hey, look, you may not believe in this, right? You may be, a detractor. You may be like, no way, Tim Allen is like 30 years ago, right? He doesn't count anymore. Name me an elite that does this. I have no idea, guys. I have no idea. All I know is I see people getting injured, right? I see people burning out. I see people who go for a run and they're burning no fat. Guys, I'm down 25 pounds. 25 pounds, right? And all I've been doing is doing my 2-hour runs, right? I've laid off a lot of the carbohydrates, right? A lot of the breads, pastas, that's all gone now. But I'm vegan, I don't eat any meat. And that's one of the things that the Maffetone, they do this thing called a 2-week test in terms of what you can eat on your diet. I'm vegan, I'm not eating any meat, right? You can if you want, this is just strictly what I do, okay? I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a coach, I'm a real estate agent who loves running and is running for his health. and I'm never going back to that fat, sick guy that I was. I'm moving forward in a positive direction to hope and inspire others to get out and move their body. And if you're like I was way back when, and if you're looking at this and you're thinking miles, guys, I was up at 13-minute miles, right? Now I'm down to 10, getting close to the 9 range. It works, guys. It really, really does. So I really haven't changed a lot of my diet. I'm vegan, plain and simple. So I eat a lot of plants, right? But I don't have a lot of sugar, right? I don't have a lot of those simple carbohydrates, right? I eat good quality food because that fuels my body. I get good quality sleep because it allows my body to reset, repair, and then I can go out and run nice and easy, not get injured, have a love of running again, and lose a ton of weight, keep it off, be mentally dialed in, mentally stronger, be there for my business, be there for my family, be there for my friends, and be present. Don't be scattered going everywhere, right? I've changed in so many ways. So if you're thinking about, giving up on MAF, or if you're thinking about getting into MAF, right? Guys, stuff works. 1,000 miles I have run, and I have literally done a 180 in my life. I feel epic, and I'm never going back to where I was, right? So that's my experience with MAF. That is my little adventure in MAF. And if you want to start, go to Phil's website, read about it, and then just go out and do it, right? Because I found it works. And make sure you get a heart rate monitor, right? I have a chest strap, and I think there's a problem with mine. Sometimes it would work, and then sometimes it wouldn't. And anyways, so I've been using my wrist base, but I did do a test between the two, and I know that this has been accurate. There has been a couple of times where it's kind of shot up for 400 meters, and then come right back down, and nothing changed. I was running on a flat piece of road at the same pit, nothing was, and all of a sudden it just did this blip. I don't know. It's happened twice over the course of the last months. It's a Coros watch, Coros Apex. Love the watch. I think it's great. I'm not sponsored by anybody, right? This is just my personal, love this watch. And I've been able to look and review at where I am on my runs, and I'm running all my runs in that zone, in that aerobic zone, to build up my... Here's the amazing thing, guys. Not only have I been healthy, right? I haven't been injured, right? I've been able to increase probably the size of my heart, right? I know that my heart is getting stronger, right? And I know that my resting heart rate is dropping. Before it was in the upper 60s, and now it's into the lower 50s. So I've seen that change as well. And going out and doing these longer distance runs, right? These 2-hour runs, there's a lot to be gleaned from that. And I did another video, you can see it up here or here. And you can watch those videos and to find out about, the benefits of that. I'll tell you though, I feel epic, I feel strong, and now I'm just going to continue to do the distance. I've got a 100-kilometer run that I'm training for, so we'll see how that goes later on in this year. It's in August. So a lot can be gleaned from these MAF runs. I encourage you, stick with it, right? It will change your physique. It will change your mental side. It will change your heart. Everything will change, and you will feel amazing doing it. You can go, one little caveat, in Canada, I don't have the same, and likewise to where you are, right? You don't have the same environment day after day after day. The weather can change. So I've been running all my runs, and I started when it was really, really hot, and now it's really, really cold. So I've had it in all different aspects. So go out, see if you can do your runs and keep track and just enjoy the process. The things I learned after 8 months of using the Maffetone method was a lot. And I wanted to share what those things were in this video because I think it could help a lot of people if maybe you're struggling or you don't understand certain things. And last year, some of the things that really kind of made that difference with regards to my running. So anyways, I'm putting that in today's video. I think you'll find it very helpful, very useful. And I think that, the last tip, there's going to be about 6 or 7 tips. The last one, I think, is probably the most important one. So you want to stick around to the end. Hey, everyone, what's shaking? What's going on? My name's David. You all know this is my channel. It's the Plant Powered Runner. And I'm literally in my car. I've got about 15 minutes before my next appointment. But I'm answering your questions, right? I got my laptop. I'm answering your questions. I am doing everything I can to make sure that I stay on track with you guys. I have to admit, though, I have not been very good this week with regards to my running. I have not been out very much. I think I've been out one day. It's been a little challenging, and I'm coming up with excuses, and that's not me. But again, I'm just being transparent. Why I should run, using heart rate as a matrix. What is so hard about running at this method? The frustrations that people have at running at a low heart rate, the benefits that people get, and the questions keep coming and coming and coming. What's the transition been like going from MAF running on the road to MAF running on the trails? And I'm going to tell you, it was harder than I expected. It wasn't an easy transition. And it's not necessarily a transition that, if I looked back, I would have thought, let's just add this into my training. And I wouldn't do it too early, right? Like I would build up your aerobic base probably for a good, maybe at least 4 months, 4 to 6 months. Build that base and be really strict with it, right? Like if you're going to commit, you go all in, right? There's no ifs and buts. You go all in and you do MAF. And it will test your patience. I'll just tell you that. It will test your patience. And it's been testing mine for quite some time. With trail running, keeping your MAF pace right there, it's hard, guys, unless you walk. And even when you walk, it's still going to be hard. Because when you walk up some of these hills, now look, this is Ontario, Canada. We don't have mountains. However, Ontario, we've got the Bruce Trail, and the Bruce Trail is pretty special. There's a lot of elevation gain in the trails. And so I found a place that I can get 600 meters. And I think that's like, how many feet, guys? I don't know, 1,200 feet maybe, something like that, of elevation gain that I can do on a run. And that's on an 18-kilometer run. So that's good for me. However, there was a couple of times where I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to walk. Or not just walk, but I think there's a couple of times where I'm gonna have to stop. Because I was watching my heart rate and it was climbing. So yeah, it's been tough. I try to keep my MAF pace at 138. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing my best. However, I'm finding it a challenge going from road to trail. The higher temperatures and the humidity in addition to that. So that's been a little bit of an adjustment, trying to figure that out. And I promise you, I'm promising, it's pretty big. It's not like you're gonna come back and say, Dave, it didn't work. Look, it works. MAF works. Go out, do the work, be consistent, and up your mileage slowly, but up your mileage, because I find the higher your mileage is, to a point, obviously, but I'm finding that as I hover around the 75 mile mark, Anywhere from 60 to 75 miles seems to be a nice round number for me at the moment. Will I get up to 100 miles on an average week? Maybe in time, but I'm working on just keeping the 75, and I think that's kind of a good number. If you go out and decide, hey, I'm going to go run, 25 kilometers, and you haven't really run more than 5 kilometers before, that's a really big stress on your body. Your volume should match your fitness of where you're starting at. Okay, slowly build up to it. If that means walking, to get your MAF at a base, then go out and walk. Question of the day. What has been your biggest challenge with MAF training? My biggest challenge was, actually I had a couple. One is I wanted to run. I didn't want to walk. It's the last thing I wanted to do. So overcoming in my head what I needed to do to stay committed to seeing the results. That was one of the biggest things. The other challenge I had was consistency. How do I find the time to go ahead and make this thing work? We all have the same amount of hours in a day. See my heart rate right now, going up this hill, is 133. I don't know the grade yet. We can look on STRAVA later. So we all have the same amount of hours in the day. It's just about the priority on what you put on it, right? So if you don't have a big why, then you may have a big challenge as to why you're going to do this, right? So if your why is big enough, why the heck am I doing this? You will be successful. If you don't know why you're doing this, you'll look at it and go, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to do it. And just leave it at that. Now, one of the things that you can see from some of the clips is it takes time to get the results that you're looking for, right? Nothing happens overnight. You didn't get to where you are today in one day. You didn't get there in a week. It's taken you a lifetime to get to where you are in your fitness or lack of fitness or your eating habits, whatever it is, right? Like I remember when I weighed 266 pounds, I felt awful. It was not a good feeling. My joints ached. My skin was awful. My eyes were all puffy. My whole face was puffy. It was not a good time for me. So sometimes, you hit that wall and you go, that's it. I can't continue to do what I've been doing all these years. Something's got to give, right? And it starts with this, right? It starts with this, the thing in the mind, right? It's a little seed of change that needs to happen. So if I didn't make the change, who knows where I would be, okay? And I mean that honestly. It was not a good time for me. However, I did, and I started running and it was great, and then I burned out and then it wasn't so good, and then I got injuries, and it just was not fun, right? I've been training for 8 months. Slow and steady. Frustration with walking. Frustration with slowness. When I started, I wanted to throw in the towel so many times. However, I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. because I have had a breakthrough in my running. So I was able to go under 5 minutes. That's insanity. After 8 months, I thought it would never happen. However, the day has arrived. So there's too many people out there that want instant gratification, instant results. Here's the thing, you're not gonna get them. You're not gonna get that instant result. This is like 3,000 kilometers of hard work. 3,000 kilometers of ups and downs. 3,000 kilometers of, is this ever gonna work? If I gave up all the times I thought that it was too hard, I would have never gotten to where I am. So my message to all of you guys is the following. The journey and the patience is the breakthrough. Doing what you love and making it all count matters. Being where you are in your ability is where you are, and that's okay. You put in the consistent mileage, nice and slow, you will get there, and you will have those results. Better results, if you want to have quicker results, then you would want to train at your max. Now, it's still going to take time, but you may get there faster than if you were training at, let's say, if I was training at 128 or 130. Now that I've said all of that, if you are struggling to stay at MAF, if you're struggling, if you power walk and you're walking, like power walking, and your heart rate's up to like 120, and I don't even know what your now, for everybody that's struggling just to walk and keep your heart rate down, you're gonna have to stay there for a while, right? Just walk it out, right? Just power walk. And if you're power walking, like if I power walked and my MAF is 138, and if I was power walking and my power walking was close, it was like 120, and then if I decided to run, and all of a sudden within a couple of minutes I'm shooting past my 138, I would spend more time just hiking and walking. If you are finding that you are not progressing, just take a look what the flippin' temperature is. The temperature right now for me is about 38 Celsius right now. And I'm walking, my heart rate is fluctuating between 128 and 133. So don't be hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be hard on yourself, because training in the heat, it's crazy. Your body is under so much stress, right? So if you live in a climate where it's really, really hot, man, you may have to go out early in the morning before the sun comes out, because you will not, I guarantee you, you will not see any improvements when the temperature is as hot as it is right now. Yeah, it's like heart rate is 133, guys, look. Right? I'm just flipping transparent. And that's what it is, man. And am I pissed that I have to walk right now? Yeah, because I want to run. However, you have to have integrity, right? You have to have, it's down in 130 now. You have to have integrity. And saying that you're going to do something and sticking with it, man, that's just the way it is for me. So don't be pissed off. Be grateful that you can walk. Be grateful that your heart is beating. Okay, that was just like really gross. Okay, just be grateful, because there are some people who can't do this. They can't walk, right? They're sick. They've got whatever disease they have, whatever illness. So just be grateful for what you have. When the weather gets cooler, you will see a transcending of your training. You will be faster. Stick with it. Don't give up, right? Don't give up. Don't expect all kinds of wonderful things when the flipping temperature is as hot as it is right now. Just don't, right? Be kind to yourself. Just go out, do what you can. If you can't run, walk, power walk, right? If you can't power walk, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, call your buddy to come pick you up in a car. So if you're just kind of starting out on this MAF journey, first off, you're going to be frustrated because it's summer and you're working really hard and you're trying to shuffle along. You're doing all of these things and you're going, oh my gosh, like, am I ever going to be able to get faster? Well, here's the thing. Yes, you will, and you will get faster. You have to stick with it. Consistency is the key. I'm telling you straight out, you got to stick with it. Up your mileage, slow and steady, right? The more that you can get your mileage up to the 6 hour and 7 hour and 8 hour mark a week, it can really, really make a difference, and you can have that breakthrough. But don't despair only because it's hot outside and you're like, I'm never going to be able to get any faster, yada, yada, yada. That's self-talk, right? That's self-negative talk. You're better than that. You can achieve more than you think you can. And at the end of the day, it really is a race of one. And that's you. So I know that you can do it. Stick with it. Put in the mileage. Put in the time, right? Put in the dedication to what it is you want to achieve, and you will achieve it. But don't let the temperature just beat you down, right? Don't allow that to happen, because it's going to suck it away from you. It's going to take that dream away from you, and you're going to give up. Don't allow it to do that, right? Negative self-talk is the worst thing that you can do. We can talk ourselves out of anything. Don't allow it to happen, because if you want something, you got to work for it, right? I don't mean run faster. I mean run at your MAF pace, run smartly, rest when you need to rest, eat healthy, sleep well, reduce the stress in your life, right? These are things that will get you to where you need to go. But the temperature, guys, the temperature is the temperature. It doesn't matter, right? You can't control that, but you can control a lot of other things, okay? Okay, so get out there and run.
Trying to find some balance in my life.
After 9 months, there was a lot to kind of take in and process. So I threw this together in a video. A lot of people seem to really like it. And yeah, the video editing is not the best. It's not, a great production of whatever. It was just something I was trying to figure out. I didn't even know whether I'd continue to make YouTube videos after this. But it's like anything, right? You start doing it, you start enjoying it, and you want to do more of it. And that's what started to happen. So after 9 months, this is kind of what things look like. This is what I learned using the Maffetone method. Oh my God, Katie, you gotta check this out. Woo-hoo-hoo! This is awesome! Guys, it's been 9 months and I gotta share this with you because look, if you wanna start training using heart rate instead of pace, then you've really gotta watch. Stay with me on this one because it's pretty epic. So I really want you to stick around to the end because wow. I started this crazy adventure because I needed some accountability for my running and what I was doing was not working. I just wasn't doing well. I got injured, I burned out, and I just gained a lot of weight and I lost my motivation. So I decided, hey, something had to change and this is what I had to do. So I guess some of the challenges I had were self-doubt, right? Self-doubt was really, really difficult for me. I had a lot of struggles running in the summertime. It was like way too hot. Wintertime, it's been hard too because, you know, your veins contract, so you've only got so much that your blood can pump through. It's a challenge. Like, it's not easy, right? Like when it's summertime, the temperatures are like 80 degrees, 90 degrees. It's extremely hot and humid, and you're looking at your pace and you're looking at how slow it goes. It is hard to see that you can get any benefit from this way of running. I wanted to quit pretty much all the time. When you're struggling to keep your heart rate at this particular zone and you're trying to push your way through, there's got to be something that continues to make you want to move forward. And quitting just wasn't an option because I couldn't go back to being what I was before, right? Like, I was overweight, I was unhealthy, I didn't have the motivation. There's a lot of things I didn't have. And so I wanted to be able to continue and not go back to that person. I wanted to be a better version of me. A quote I live by is basically one of my own quotes. And it's, get out and run. There's really no two ways to deal with it. If you want to see the results, you got to put in the work. And the only way you can do that is by getting out and running. So that's my quote, and that's what I live by. Running over the last 9 months at this particular heart rate, it takes a lot of time. Over the last 9 months, I had to ask myself, why am I doing this? Why am I continuing to run at a slow heart rate continuously for month after month after month? And really it came down to knowing what my why was. And the why was I didn't want to go back to what I was before. There was no way I wanted to be a big fat sick guy who could die from a heart attack, right? I just didn't want that. I wanted to be around for my daughter when she got older, to be around, to see her get married, to see her with her life experiences. And to be quite honest, she's right behind the camera right now, helping me do this. So the why I want to do this is I want to be a healthier version of me, and I want to inspire others like you to get out and run and be a healthier version of you. That's really what it comes down to. It is, let's lead by example and show people that, yeah, it can be done. You can get faster running at a low heart rate. It really can be done, and it's not that hard.
Okay, so what kind of support do you need while doing this type of training?
Is you'll need an understanding wife, partner, husband, whoever, because it's gonna take a bit of time, and you're gonna have somebody to get you to run, to kick you out the door to get running, because if you don't, 9 times out of 10, you're literally just gonna not do it. To have people stand behind you and say, hey, you can do this, right? This is possible. Setting your expectations high can be a recipe for failure. What I would suggest is start off slow, all right? And I mean that seriously. Just run slow, right? Because there's a lot of moving parts to this process, right? Changing your diet running slow, getting enough sleep, making sure that you're not having too much coffee, like all these things. It could be too much for you to think about. So what I would suggest is have a realistic goal that it's gonna take a number of months. There's a number of components that I would suggest really paying attention to. One of them is the food that you eat. If you're eating junk food, guys, you're not gonna get the results. It's like putting in crappy gas in a sports car. You're just not gonna get the performance out of it. So treat your body as if you're that performance car. You need to make sure that you get enough sleep. I've been saying this for a while and I've seen this happen. If you are only getting 4 or 5 hours sleep and it's interrupted, chances are you're gonna struggle. You're not gonna do so well. So make sure that you get at least 7 or 8, even maybe 9 hours of undisturbed sleep if you can, because it'll make a massive difference. I found temperatures made a massive difference. So the hotter it was, the harder I had to keep my heart rate lower. The cooler it got, the better my heart rate was. But it reaches a diminishing return the colder it got. So when it's freezing, like, we're talking like -10, -20. So the key takeaway to this whole entire training is, I'm gonna sum this up in a couple of words. Consistency, time on feet. So some of the amount of mileage that I've been able to run, some of the months were 500 kilometers, 400 kilometers. It's whatever you can make happen, right? So if you can run consistently, take a couple of days off a week, and just stay base build mode, just think about that, you'll have a lot of success. And like I went through this whole entire time thinking, am I ever gonna get faster? But I did. Every single month I got faster and faster and faster. And I put it in a chart. So that way I could actually see what was going on. See if I was seeing the results. I was doing the MAF tests, right? I did all of that. And I knew deep down it would work, but I just didn't know how long it was gonna take. And I saw it after 4 months, I saw it work. And now after 9 months, I see it work. So you can achieve it, you can do it, make it happen. Going from a 13:46 mile pace to a 9:30 mile pace, 9 months. 9 months I was able to do that. And one of them was like a 10 kilometer to a half marathon, or 6 miles to 13.1 miles, okay? So think about that. In a short period of time of 9 months, that's what I was able to achieve. So you're probably asking, you know, how long is it gonna take you to achieve this type of thing? Well, guess what? We are all individuals. It's all an individual basis. You're gonna see results, but you're not gonna see the same results I had, right? Everyone's different. And so whether you're eating well, whether you're not eating well, whether you get enough sleep, whether the temperature that you're running in, whether it's hot or it's cold, it really doesn't matter. What matters is this consistency that you continue to do this at. Because if the consistency isn't there, the amount of time that you're running isn't there. Like if you're not increasing the amount of time on your feet, if that's not there, you're gonna have a hard time and you're not gonna achieve the goals. That's what I did. I worked my way up. I worked my way up from those low 1 hour runs, and I worked my way up to running a 50 miler. That's really what I did at the end of the day. Running in the wintertime, running in the summertime, running in all different types of weather, you just gotta get out and do the work. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to, is just making it happen, knowing your why, right? Showing up for yourself every single day. Yeah, it's gonna take time, yeah, it's gonna take energy, but everything does. And really, it's a marathon, right? Think of this as a marathon. It's gonna take time. So if you can kind of keep your ego at bay, be consistent, increase your time on feet each and every week, if you can get in 8 to 10 hours, 8 to 12 hours, that's some good time on your feet, and you can start seeing some really cool results. So like I always say, everyone, get out and run.
Some balance in my life, but I never really put fight.
After 1 year, 365 days, I learned a lot about myself, a lot about what I'm capable of doing, a lot about this whole running slow, using heart rate training to get faster, to build an aerobic base, to build up your mitochondria, to put yourself in a good position to start taking on some of those higher paced runs, like tempo runs, or like 400-meter repeats, or 800s, or whatever it is that you start to kind of do. So these videos encapsulated like a full year of everything. It showed how I lost weight, how I got faster, how all these things happened, and again, I condensed it into the video. So hopefully you enjoy these ones. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the incredible improvements I've seen in Maffetone training in 1 year. But let's take it out on the trail and let's go talk. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Plant Powered Runner. My name is David, and today I am back in Friday Harbor. You guys have, some of you who have been following me for a while know that Friday Harbor is a community located up in just kind of south of Barrie in Innisfil. And it's a really cool community. It's got like a whole harbor set up here where all the boats can park, and people have got condos, and you can actually park your boat right up where your condo is. And there's like, you know, grocery store and Starbucks and restaurants and all kinds of stuff in this community. It's really, really neat. But not only that, is they have a really cool trail system that I'm actually going to go run. I only discovered this place in April last year when I ended up listing a house over in Alcona. And I'm back. The reason I'm back up here is because I just finished an appointment with a client of mine, and we're just getting their house ready to put it up on the market. So the question of the day is, do you prefer to run in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the nighttime? When do you like to run? What's your preferred time of the day? I'd love to know. Put it in the comments below. Really appreciate it. Hey guys, if you're liking the videos, please think about liking, subscribing, and please comment on the video. More people see it, and I appreciate it. I have a lot of great things to say about Maffetone training, and I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours about the topic. Oh, wait a minute. I've been doing this all the way since last year. Oops. Look, I try to make these videos fun, educational, and the whole bit, right? This is my way of giving back to runners and the community and bringing people together who are thinking about training by heart rate. I know it's done a lot for me, and hopefully you find it helpful for you as well. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the incredible improvements I've seen in Maffetone training in 1 year. But let's take it out on the trail and let's go talk. Looks like we got a festival of lights that are happening tonight at 5 o'clock called Lunar Lights Tour. Number one, over a short period of time, I ended up dropping like 30 pounds just by training at such a low heart rate. I literally just burned all my fat away. And it takes dedication and time. However, the way I think about running is so much different these days, because, you know, when you're training at such a low heart rate and you see all the weight literally come off, it's amazing to look at and realize that you don't have to run fast to lose weight. And to be quite honest, it could be one of the reasons why most runners gain weight, is because they're burning the carbs, right? They're burning all the sugar. You don't want to be reliant on all the gels, because to be quite honest, my stomach just can't take them. Number 2, now people have asked me, how much faster did I get? Well, I actually got 3 minutes per kilometer faster at my peak. So just before my ultramarathon, I actually dropped all the way down in terms of my pace, which was quite amazing. Wow, look at that dog walker, right?
Dog runner to be specific, yeah.
Dog runner, look at that. Look at that, guys, holy. All those dogs.
Same lines.
Thanks, man, have a good one.
See you later, you too.
Yeah, you as well. Okay, Chris, that running guy, if you're watching, do you do that? Do you run with all the dogs? Because that's pretty darn cool. Now, yeah, like I actually got 3 minutes faster per kilometer running at the same heart rate. Now, I was super grateful for that. I honestly didn't know what it was going to take to eventually get it down to that. I think the biggest thing is consistency. Running at a low heart rate allows me to be more consistent in my running. You know, when you're not getting injured and you're not tired and you feel like you can go forever, you want to run more. So my consistency went way up. Now, where am I now? I'm recovering from my ultra and now base building still. Yes, my heart rate is a little bit of a mess after Christmas and all my recovery time. So yeah, it's time to do the work and get ready for my 100 miler. That's in 8 months. Wow, did I just say 100 miler in 8 months? Okay, I'm a little freaked out now. Not gonna lie. Whew.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes,
Number 3, having more energy throughout the day is flippin' amazing. Who doesn't want that? I found that when I trained by heart rate, I would have so much more energy throughout the day, and I wasn't tired, I wasn't burned out after my runs, because they're conversational pace. It's slow and steady. And when you finish your run, you want to feel like you can continue to run, regardless of how far you've gone. That's the feeling I get when I finish a 10 kilometer or a 20 kilometer. I feel like I could just keep on going. Number 4, after I finish my runs, it's so amazing not to be hungry. It's so amazing not to be diving into the cupboards trying to find the chips or whatever your craving desires. I finish a run now and I literally don't feel like eating. Your body really gets into this process of burning fat as a fuel very efficiently, like I said in my number 1. And in doing so, I realized that I don't need to eat as much as I thought I used to need. Here's a little side note. I gained a lot of weight over the holidays. And since running my ultra marathon, I think I've gained 20 pounds. Yikes. Like I said in my other video, I've got some work to do. I need to lose 30. That's all, 30. And I've done it many times, so I'll just do it again. I'm just going to go out and run in my MAF zone, run for 2 hours, a couple of times a week, and then some hour-long runs. It all works out fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. No, I really don't want any food right now. Okay, I could eat something. Like a bag of chips, salty chips right now would be really good.
You got me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yeah. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top. I saw the clouds looking angry, but then the
Number 5, regaining my love of running has been such an amazing experience. Like seriously, I was out lost in the wilderness. No map, no phone, no anything. Okay, that's a metaphor. But that's kind of where my running was. I now have found Maffetone method training, aka heart rate training. I don't see it as something that I need to do. I see it as something that I want to do. I want to get out of the house and I want to run. Now, it's not all the time. There's some bad days, but for probably 99% of the time, man, if I don't get a run in, I'm one grumpy dude. Going through burnout and being lost in the wilderness for like 2 years when it came to my running, it was something that I didn't know if I was going to get back into running again. I honestly didn't think that I'd be able to do it. And, you know, being injured before and burning out and feeling tired all the time, I really didn't want to go down that road. And then feeling like I had to go, like I have to do this run, I have to do this part of the training, I have to do all this. I didn't want to go down that road. So when Maffetone method training came along, it kind of freed me from that. It allowed me to just go out and just run for the fun of running. It's leading into number 6, and that's controlling your ego. Before I started this method, man, my ego was huge when it came to telling me what I had to do. Like, if I was running and I saw another runner ahead, I'm like, okay, I gotta run faster so I can pass them. And in doing so, I just, over time, that continued to happen over and over and over again. And again, it led to burnout, it led to injuries, it led to being tired, it led to nothing good, right? So this time round, I've learned to bottle it up, right? And if I'm going to use a Canadian metaphor, I dug a hole in the snow, put my ego in here, and I buried it away. I said, see ya. There's no value to you anymore. And by removing the ego, my freedom, my enjoyment, my inspiration, my happiness has come to the forefront. And it's an amazing time for me to be a runner. And every day it leads to bigger and better things.
And when I space out, I see the possibilities unfolding the way that I want. That you showed up was written in my palm. You
Number 7, I'm very grateful for a lot of things in my life. Very grateful. One of the things I wasn't grateful for in my life was my ability to run. I took it for granted. These days, Maffetone has allowed me to slow down, deal with all of these other things that have been going on in life, and become very grateful when it comes to running now. And it's allowed me to become a very grateful runner. Because there's people in parts of the world that they can't run. They don't have running shoes. They don't have the ability to go out and run and burn the calories off because there are no calories to burn off because they're starving. People around the world don't have food, right? And so it's allowed me to kind of hone in and say, what's really important and what can we do to change parts of the world? What can we do to help others? And so this last year, I've been thinking on so many ways how I can use my platform to give to people around the world. And so I'm still struggling trying to find the right method and the right thing to do, but I'm working on it. Training at such a low heart rate has also allowed me to go from running about 30 kilometers a week all the way up to 167 at my peak. Now, it not only allowed me to go longer, but it also allowed me to run my first ultra marathon. Now, I never thought that was a real possibility. I thought, how the heck am I going to actually run 50 miles? I honestly had no idea, but I knew I couldn't do it by running fast. So when I started upping my mileage, things really started to click, and I ended up running one. Imagine that. So until next week, like I always say, get out. Woo! I echo. Get out and run.
Trying to find some balance in my life.
After 1 year, 365 days, I learned a lot about myself, a lot about what I'm capable of doing, a lot about this whole running slow, using heart rate training to get faster, to build an aerobic base, to build up your mitochondria, to put yourself in a good position to start taking on some of those higher paced runs, like tempo runs, or like 400 meter repeats, or 800s, or whatever it is that you start to kind of do. So these videos encapsulated like a full year of everything. It showed how I lost weight, how I got faster, how all these things happened, and again, I condensed it into the video. So hopefully you enjoy these ones. Today was a breakthrough, everybody. Today was basically been a year of like my MAF training. If you are injured or sick and tired of being injured, if you have weight that you need to lose, if you're burned out, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, this last year has been epic in many ways. And it's been frustrating in many ways. It's actually been frustrating all the way around in terms of how the body operates. And today, I'm going to do a review on the past year of my training so you can have an idea whether or not you want to start. The reason I started training by heart rate is because I wasn't having much success at running fast all the time. And I had been injured, I had been burned out, and then I just kind of, ran just for the sake of running, didn't really have any goals, wasn't really motivated. And as the years kind of went by, I was like, you know what? I really do have to get back into this sport because I really do love it. And I decided that I was going to take a year to see what would happen if I started training by heart rate. It's been 1 year, baby, and I got lots to tell you. In the last year, this is more of a summary of how I did for 365 days. All right, so let's take a look. I could stand here and tell you my whole entire story, but that would be really boring, right? Me standing here, bobblehead, just kind of going back and forth. Let's take it outside. That is way better than being stuck inside. The weather's turned, it's really nice. And today, I want to talk to you about my year of Maffetone method training. Now, for all of you who don't know what that is, it is AKA heart rate training, meaning train at your aerobic heart rate. And that can be figured out by 180 minus your age, and that's how many beats per minute that you would run. Now, there are some calculations whether you add 5 beats or decrease 10 beats, depending on circumstances. You can click on the link below. It'll take you to Phil's website, and it will explain everything to you in an example. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about what happened over the last year. Now, again, if you are new to the channel, if you are new just seeing this for the first time, please click above right here. That will be my journey kind of starting off on the Maffetone method training, okay? And you know, that was like 4 months in, all right? Now, we are, you know, I'm basically talking to you after a year of this type of training. And I will give you a summary a little later on in the video, but there was a few things I wanted to talk about, and that is as follows. So my story into this, I'm not going to go into it. You can actually click the card up above, or you can click the video in the description down below, and that will give you the first 4 months into this process. And this video now is going to be kind of starting from that 4-month period to where I am today. Now, I'm going to share with you little video clips that have happened along the way, and well, let's just roll with those first. I don't want to run. I really don't want to run. Mommy, I don't want to run. I don't want to run. It's cold. It's 7 degrees and raining. And, I've been procrastinating since I got up.
9 o'clock this morning.
And I don't want to run.
I danced, you run.
I don't want to run. I don't want to run. Ah! How hard is it for you to get out and go for a run? You just saw what it was like for me. Seriously, I just didn't want to run today.
Broom's length away from me because he stinks.
I don't stink. I literally just got back. May 8th in Canada. Really? If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. Crazy. Question of the day. What has been your biggest challenge with MAF training? Since I started running MAF, you know, I've been noticing some changes obviously in my body, how much weight I'm losing, how I feel, how I react to the workouts. But this is something that could get expensive. So make sure you buy your hydration vest that fits fairly well. So this is mine. This is so loose on me now. It's crazy. Like yeah. So it bounces around a lot. 100 miles in 1 week is a real commitment. So to all of the elite athletes and amateur athletes and everybody else, Man, dedication to 100 miles in a week is something else. I mean, the other day I started off with 30, and then yesterday, I did a trail at 20. And just with the weather getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and you gotta wake up earlier and earlier and earlier, man, you gotta beat the heat. That's one crazy storm coming through. Man, oh man. Anyways, happy trails, everybody. Happy trails. 25 kilometers for the day. 167 something. 167.2 kilometers. Over 100 miles. Hell yeah. I'll take it. Flippin' awesome. There comes a time in your MAF training when you hit a breakthrough and you go, hallelujah! This is awesome. Guys, I'm so happy. I'm gonna talk to you about what happened, breakthrough today in training. OMG! Not all runs can be good. Really, they can't be that good. Today's run sucked. And you know what? That's okay. I've been training for 8 months. Slow and steady. Frustration with walking. Frustration with slowness. Like, when I started, I wanted to throw in the towel so many times. However, I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. Because I have had a breakthrough in my running. There's too many people out there that want instant gratification, instant results. Here's the thing, you're not gonna get them. You're not gonna get that instant result. This is like 2,500 miles. This is like 3,000 kilometers of hard work. 3,000 kilometers of ups and downs. 3,000 kilometers of, is this ever gonna work? If I gave up all the times I thought that it was too hard, I would have never gotten to where I am. So my message to all of you guys is the following. The journey and the patience is the breakthrough. Doing what you love and making it all count matters. Being where you are in your ability is where you are, and that's okay. You put in the consistent mileage, nice and slow, you will get there, and you will have those results. If it means you gotta walk, guys, you gotta walk. There's no two ways about it. You have to train that muscle, because if you don't, you're gonna burn out, you're gonna get injured. How much fun is that? So, happy Saturday, everybody. Let's rise and shine. It's time to do the work. I'm in a cool place called Bayfield. And this is a number of hours later. I've second town. This is going to be my second run. If you are finding that you are not progressing, just take a look what the flippin' temperature is. The temperature right now for me is about 38 Celsius right now. And I'm walking, my heart rate is fluctuating between 128 and 133. So don't get, don't be hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be hard on yourself, because training in the heat, it's crazy. Your body is under so much stress, right? So today is all about going up. So there is going to be no thinking about pace, no thinking about I should be faster. It's none of that. This is literally just going straight up. And that's what I'm going up. And that's nothing. It gets higher. Now, it's no mountain. Like, for all you that are following me from California or Colorado or any places where you've got the mountains, this is the best I got. The next piece of advice I have for you is don't be attached to the outcome. If you're always thinking that you're going to get better on every single run, it's a myth. It ain't happening. Some days they're going to be amazing runs. Other days, not so much. So leave the attachment out of the equation, because it'll make your run so much more enjoyable. And when you finish, you won't be disappointed, because at least you got out and you enjoyed yourself. So hot. So hot. So hot. Oh my God. No excuses. Get out and get your run in. Trail running is always a challenge. I just wiped out. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I don't know how it looks. That's a wrap. I need water in a bad way. No excuses, everybody. No excuses. Get out there and run. It is hot. That's just gross. Something to think about. Not all of your training has to be there. However, if you want to get to that, I guess, reach your maximal goal, potential, if you want to have better results, if you want to have quicker results, then you would want to train at your max. Now, it's still going to take time, but you may get there faster than if you were training at, let's say, if I was training at 128 or 130. Just shuffle along, shuffle along, shuffle along. Keep it simple. All right, we don't need to recreate running in any fashion. Just take a lot of steps, short, like your pace is slow. And that's how I shuffled for a while. But over time, obviously, I got faster, and my form changed for the better. So I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to yell nice and loud. This is how I would shuffle my way to getting faster. Okay? Show you. Baby steps, 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 baby steps. It's been a long time coming. I'm just saying. Building my aerobic base for as long as I have has been the single most important thing that I could have done for my running. Not only has it made me a stronger runner who can run longer distances, who has stayed injury free, I would say that it's made me more consistent in my running. And I'm so grateful and so happy that I've come across MAF. It's been great. Now I'm actually going to go to step 2. And this is what I've talked about, doing an 80-20. And so for all of you who are trying to decide, if it's time for you to do an 80-20, basically you'll know when the time is right. And a friend of mine, he kind of brought it to my attention just recently. He's like, why don't you do a month of, higher intensity on the track just to see after that, then go back to just running MAF on every run and see what's happened during your MAF, your test, right? Like when you go out. So I thought I would do that. Now, 80-20 is just what it sounds like, right? So 80% I'm going to be running at, my heart, my MAF heart rate, and then 20% I'm going to be doing these higher intensities. One of them is a tempo, and one of them is doing track work, and that's going to be 800 meter repeats that I'm going to do. Now, it's been a long time since I've done those, and I'll slowly work my way up to that. I will. Now, the reasons for doing the speed work is to kind of stress my heart a little bit more than obviously I have, right? I built up the, my base now. Now let's try to work on, going from the slow twitch fibers in your muscles to going to the fast twitch fibers, right? We're going to be running anaerobic, and we're going to be pushing, right, the red line. And it's okay to do that. However, you got to be smart and you have to warm up on these things. And you don't take it lightly, right? I always told you I would be honest. And I always told you that I'd be transparent. My pace was 7:07 today. My average heart rate was 140. I feel pretty damn good though. I'll tell you that. The fact that I was able to get 7 in today, I'm pretty happy. Okay, first 800, 313. Not bad. 311. Dedication to your training is super important if you want to see the results. Maffetone method works. 80-20 works. But you have to run. You actually have to do the things that you say that you're going to go ahead and do. So if you've got your training plan and you've written it down, 90% of the time it's going to happen. Now there are times where it's a little hard to get your run in, and that's some of the struggles I find. If I don't wake up early enough in the morning, or if I've got things that have to happen first thing in the morning, I know that I have to be prepared. So for me, I just make sure I've got clothes in the car and I'm ready to go. I just got to brag. I'm like super excited. I just nailed it on the track. And I'm going to talk to you about how my MAF test went. So let's get right into it. Okay, as you can see, a lot has happened over the year, and let's dive into some of the things that, I have learned along the way, and I'm just going to start naming them off, all right? Number 1, coffee will affect your heart rate, so ditch the caffeine. Processed food will raise the heart rate, so ditch the junk, things that come in a box. You don't need it. Just eat real food, okay? Whether you're vegan or whether you're a meat eater, it really doesn't matter. You can do this. Burning your own fat as an energy source is flippin' awesome. I have done so many runs where I'm able to just go out and run without anything, right? Just some electrolytes, and that's it. And I go out, run for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, right? It's really nice not to worry about, how you're gonna get, your nutrition, because you're running so slow, you're in that aerobic zone, you're just burning your fat. You have to make sure you get enough sleep, guys. I cannot overstate that. It is super important. I strive to get 8 hours sleep every night, and then some nights I even try to get 9. It doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, I sometimes only get 4 or 5, really, but I always strive to get 8. Now, again, sleep will impact your heart rate, so pay attention to that. That's something I learned, right? Just as you go. Patience. You actually have to have patience. This is the long game. You're not going to hack your way to getting faster. How you will get there is having patience, and over time, okay, over the long haul, you will get faster. All right. Now, the next thing is consistency. You actually have to have consistency in your running. Okay. So if you're only going out, 3 days a week, it may be hard for you to actually see the results. Now, you may see the results really slower. You may be more frustrated. Okay. The weather will have a major impact on your heart rate. So if you're running in hot climates, be prepared for you not to see results as fast as others may have, okay? Because the hotter it is, the more humid it is, the higher your heart rate will be, okay? Again, this is more of a recap on a lot of the videos that I've done before, right? But these are things I've learned over the last year. You can run longer distances in this method without getting injured. Okay. Now, obviously, if you roll your ankle, yeah, you're going to get injured. However, me going out for a run, I'm not running fast. I'm running slow, right? It's more of a shuffle, as you saw in the video clips before, right? Little shuffle, baby steps, baby steps. That's how I started. That's how I got through this. Now I'm able to, be able to take longer strides. I find running at the same time of day really, really, really helps, because it is the same time that you run every morning. So it means, whether you've eaten or you haven't eaten, it keeps all the variables the same. So going out and doing that at, whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 or 9 or whatever, as long as you keep that consistent, your heart rate will ebb and flow. Now, if you run in the afternoon, after having a stressful day at work or family life or whatever, you will see a higher heart rate. Compare yourself to other people. It doesn't work. This is an experiment of one, right? This is just you versus you. This is you getting fitter, okay? So don't try to compare yourself with other people. Running below your maximum MAF heart rate is okay. You've got 10 beats, right? You've got that 10 beat zone. So if your heart rate is 138, then you can go all the way down to 128. You're in your aerobic zone, right? And it works out really well. However, if you want to see faster results, running at your max, I found, tends to help me improve more and more and more. My recipe for success, I found, was being able to run 6 days a week, and I would say anywhere from about 8 to 12 hours was really good for me. If I started to get lower, like into the 6-hour range, I found my results were a little bit slower. So anyways, if you can have a couple of longer runs, like a 2-hour run or an 1.5-hour run in your week, mixed in with a couple of 1-hour runs, that can help. Okay, so again, being able to run longer, like that 2 hours, if you can get at least one of those in a week, man, it's a golden number, right? It just expands the lung capacity. It's just, again, I did a video on the 2-hour principle of running, so you can kind of click the card up above and you can see that, or click in the description down below and you can click on the video there. I found that if I had to walk, and that was just normal. I mean, it was just took time. However, when the temperatures got hot and I had to walk, I felt frustrated, right? It's a natural feeling. But again, whether you're walking and your heart rate is in that zone, or whether you're running and your heart rate is in that zone, you're still working in your aerobic zone. You're still going to improve, okay? So in time, you will get faster. So let's talk about what I experienced with regards to my time. When I first started, I averaged on my first MAF test, it was like an 8:35 minute kilometer. Like that's kind of where I was at, right? That was insane. I mean, it took me like an hour and 25 minutes. It was awful and that was to do 10K. I mean, it was crazy. I was so frustrated. However, over the time, you can see in the chart, I slowly got faster and faster and faster and faster, okay? And if you want to see how to do a MAF test, again, there's a card up above. You can see one of my MAF tests that I have done. But basically, find a track, you do a 15-minute warm-up, you find a track, and you run around the track, keeping your heart rate at your max, right? And you do that for 3 miles or I tend to do 10 kilometers, which 6 kilometers, sorry. I tend to do 10 kilometers, which works out to being 6 miles basically. Or if you want to update, or if you want to up that to 10 miles, yeah, you could certainly do that as well, okay? But again, what you should see is your time should decrease over the kilometers in miles, right? It should be a steady decrease. The first one should be the fastest, and then from there, it just drops. And that is a normal process. It means that you've warmed up enough, okay? If you haven't warmed up enough, you'll find the first couple of kilometers or miles, they're gonna fluctuate, right? Because your heart hasn't kind of found that rhythm yet. So again, that's something that I've realized. So make sure that you get your 15-minute walk or very, very, very light jog. And if this is hard for you, and if your run is a jog when you're actually running MAF, then do like a speed walk as a warm-up, okay? But 15 minutes. The weather will affect, okay, so the wind, right? The wind, the rain, the heat, the cool, the snow, the slush, all that will affect your heart rate. So again, if you can find an inside place to do your MAF tests, it would be helpful. However, for me, I couldn't do it because of where I live. So I do all my runs outside, and that's, you know, I did get faster and faster over time, even though the weather was a little bit different. So it'd be interesting to see what it would have been like if I had all of those variables exactly the same. The big thing for me was I had to leave the ego at the door, and it took me a while, right? It didn't happen overnight. Even halfway through, I was still like, you know, thinking about pace. So for me, leave all of those emotions at the door. The only thing that you should be looking at on your watch is heart rate and elapsed time. Time on your feet, right? That's all that matters. And if you run for an hour every second day, and then you throw in an hour and a half or a 2-hour run in there, you will see results. Yes, you can trail run. If you are doing MAF, you can trail run. However, walking up the hills, just pay attention because your heart rate will shoot up. You can run the downs and the flats, but make sure you hike the hills because you don't want it to spike, okay? I also added in some speed work. So after the initial 4 months, I then slowed down in March because of COVID. And then I kind of came back in April, and I decided I was going to start adding some tempo runs in. So it was more of a 90-10 type of training, right? 90% MAF, right? 10% speed. And then as the months went by, I also added some speed work on the track. So I would do, I think in 1 month, so for 4 days in August, I did 800-meter repeats around the track. And yes, I got faster, and yes, I was able to train the anaerobic system, right? But here's the thing, the aerobic system takes much longer to build than the anaerobic system, right? Now, when you build your aerobic engine, right, you're also helping your anaerobic system at the same time. You will have breakthroughs, you will have failures, you will have frustration. These are emotions that I had the whole entire time I was doing this. But I knew that I was going to succeed because I wasn't going to give up, right? I have no races to run, right? So when I started this, I was like 215 pounds. So or even higher, it may even be 215, I think I said it was. Yeah, 215. Anyways, I went all the way down to 181, 182. And that was all just because of this slow running in your aerobic zone. You burn your own fat. So yes, it is weight loss, right? It is weight loss, and it's sustainable, right? It's sustainable weight loss. You can do this, right? Just like I did. And the thing is you don't come back. See, I don't come back home starving, right? I come back from my run, I have a shower, and I'm good to go for the day, right? I'm not hungry because you're not burning sugar, right? I'm not burning all those carbs. What I'm burning is I'm burning my fat, right? As an energy source. Dude, I've probably got like 3 months, 4 months I could run every single day without eating, right? And I'd still be, I'd still be good, right? We have enough on us to last. Anyways, fasting, all my runs are fasted, right? All of them. And they work out really well. I'm really happy with it. So anyways, that's just something to consider. I'm also very happy. After a run, I feel awesome. I really feel epic. And honestly, I'm clear-minded, right? Because in Canada, we don't have a lot of sun in the wintertime. We got clouds, snow, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of our vitamin D is much lower that we're getting through our skin because we're all covered up, right? So we try to get as much as we can during the summer months. So for me, running just makes me happier. It makes me fitter. It makes me stronger. And right now, guys, this is the big thing for me, right? I'm an ultra marathon runner now. I ran 50 miles, 80 kilometers in the Boyne Valley. Okay, you can see the video. I'll put a description down below, or you can click the card up above. So yeah, I mean, I went from running like 10 kilometers a couple of times a week a year ago to now running 50 miles, 80 kilometers, okay? So slow and steady, consistency, it's like David Goggins says, right? Putting cookies in the cookie jar, putting your health in the cookie jar, right? And I don't know, man, for me, I just got stronger and stronger, and I'm super excited that I did this, right? Rest and recovery I found was super important. However, I only needed 1 day a week because I was actually going really slow, right? Except when I came off of my 80 kilometer, right? My Boyne Valley 50 miler. I'm still on my recovery for that. It's only been a week and a half. So I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm just walking. I did one run, but again, you just need to make sure that you do have the recovery in place. So as I promised, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to talk to you about all of the, basically a summary of all of my PBs, all of my results from the year. And yeah, let's go in and I'll talk to you about that. I had a goal race of running a 100 kilometer run, and that was going to be in August, but it was canceled due to COVID. So I created my own route, and I decided I was going to run on the trail instead of this flat, 100 kilometer trail run. I was going to run in the Boyne Valley and create my own, which last week you can see the video is right there, and that's what happened, right? I did run that. Guys, I was able to run that, and I was able to run it below my maximum heart rate. So I ran that whole thing with an average of 136. Now, again, it's an average. Not every kilometer was that way because some I was going up hills and down and everything else. However, overall, it was 136 beats a minute. Guys, I did 50 miles. It blows my mind. With all of that elevation, I think there was like 52, oh, I don't know, what was the elevation? 5277, I don't know. There was a lot of elevation in there, 5,270 feet of elevation gain, 1,759 meters. That's a lot. And I was able to do that after 1 year of training with the Maffetone method, right? AKA heart rate training, AKA aerobic base training in your aerobic zone, not going out and crushing every single kilometer, running fast every day like I was way back when. Guys, I went long, right? I ran something like that just blew my mind. but the tempo runs did kind of get back in probably the end of April, maybe even the middle of May. I would say things really started, you know, 1 day a week I would do a faster run. Now, I also decided that I was going to add in some trail runs. Okay, so I didn't know how that was all going to work, trying to keep my heart rate low, but you know, I decided I'm open for the challenge, and I needed something different. Just the weather was getting nice. I wanted to get on the trails. I had gone through the whole fall and winter just, you know, in the slush, in the snow, getting lost in the woods, falling in the river, trying to find deer tracks to get me out. Like, it was just crazy stuff that I did, right? I'm an ultra runner now, right? This is awesome. And so, you know, for anyone who sees this video, look, you can do it too. And you can click on my other video when I started, you can click there. Now, here's the big finale, guys. You wanna know, and this was about, I'm gonna say probably about 2 weeks ago when I went out and I did my MAF run. My pace, okay, at the same heart rate, okay, at the same heart rate, 138, and a pace, okay, you ready for this? In my test, is now down to a 5:38, right? 5 minutes and 38 kilometer pace, right? That's crazy, considering I was at a 5:34, sorry, I was at a 8:34 a year ago. So in 1 year, I basically shaved off 3 minutes. 3 minutes, okay? Don't tell me this stuff doesn't work. Yes, running consistently has made a difference. Whether, and I don't know, I mean, I could have run at a higher heart rate and maybe achieved the same thing. I have no idea. All I know is I could have got injured, right? So I decided I would go in the slow aerobic, build my base, right? Build my base, and you know, reap the benefits of that, because now I'm just going to continue. I'm going into the winter time. I'm going to continue this, right? And I'm going to continue to see what the results are going to be, you know, after, you know, 1.5 years, after 2 years, and we'll see what happens, right? Now, the other thing is, you know, weight loss, right? A lot of people suffer from not being able to lose the weight, right? Cheeseburger away from a heart attack. That's just the way things were, but not anymore. Now, now, right? I weigh 182. I'm feeling fantastic. I can run 50 miles, and I'm helping other people in their life. I'm healthier in my mind. I just overall, I feel epic in so many ways, right? So it works, it works, it works. I've got a lot of other videos on my channel that can help you if you're looking at this for the first time. So 1 year of MAF training, I dropped 3 minutes per kilometer, right? 3 minutes per kilometer. There it is on your screen in miles per hour type of thing. So that's, you know, again, guys, this is something that works. It's something that you shouldn't take lightly. Really give it a try, and if you need help, I'm here. Just ask, right? So how many miles did I have to run to get to where I am now, right? I had to run on average about 9 miles a day, right? That's about 14 kilometers a day. I ran to about 2,800 miles, which is like 4,200 kilometers. I got an average, you know, sleep. It was about 8 hours of sleep I would get each night. Sleep is super important too, guys. Like, don't discount that. You need to get your sleep, because that will also affect your heart rate. You know, I was able to run 50 miles in one go. I also have run through basically one pair of shoes. I'm on my second pair. So the stats, you know, say it for themselves, right? So I got faster and faster and faster and faster. And here's the other thing that happened to me. I was able to run the fastest 10K I did a 48-28 10K in July. What I could do now, I don't know. I haven't gone out. Maybe that'll be the next video, right? All I do know is I feel like I could really knock off maybe a 45, maybe even, you know, a 44-minute 10K, maybe. Anyways, we'll have to check that one out. Yeah, so all of my markers, all of my runs, like I improved in so many ways. And so after you know, 1 full year of MAF training, 2,800 miles, where am I? I'm 3 minutes faster per kilometer, again on your screen in miles. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with where things are at. I'm down a lot of weight, and I'm just going to continue to run and see what happens. And I'm going to just continue on, right? So when I look at my tempo runs, one of the things I noticed was I did a 10K, I think it was my second one, and it was 4:56, and my heart rate was 173. And then in October, I think that was back in April, and then, or was it? Actually, it was, I'll tell you when it was. Yeah, that was in April. And then in October, I ran a 10K and my heart rate was 156 and it was 5 minutes, 3 seconds. So major difference with regards to my heart rate. Absolutely incredible when you start kind of looking at kind of where I was. Now, again, I haven't done a whole lot since the summertime with regards to running fast. In the last year, this is more of a summary of how I did for 365 days. All right, so let's take a look. So I lost 35 pounds. I am faster by 3 minutes per kilometer. I set a PB in 10 kilometers in 48:28, and that was in July. So clearly I could probably run it much faster still. I also did a 10 kilometer at a heart rate of 138 in 57:24, down from a time of 1 hour and 25 minutes when I first started. I ran 160 kilometers or 100 miles in 1 week. I've run a 590 kilometer month for June. I have also I also had 7,767 feet in elevation in 1 month. I had a total amount of mileage of 2,857 miles or 4,597 kilometers. I had an average of 9.22 miles or 14.85 kilometers per day. I achieved 48,673 meters in elevation gain, or 159,668 feet, 544 hours of running, or 22.67 days. I also ran the Boyne Valley 50 miler, which was an 80 kilometer run. All of this was achieved because I said yes to Maffetone training. And you can too. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. And I know that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. If you listen to your body, you train in your aerobic zone, you can meet your goals. I'm just telling you straight out, this is what happened to me. And these results can happen for you. If you put in the time and the energy, you can succeed. So that's my message to you. I wish you all the best. So in conclusion, does Maffetone method work? And the answer is yes. Go ahead and do it for your future self. So let me ask you the question. If everything stayed the same as it is today, 5 years from now, would you be happy with where you are? You tell me. Are you gonna start? Or are you just gonna sit there? Stop watching the video, and get out and run.
Trying to find some balance in